I love Ranveer Singh, of course. Meghna is extremely meticulous. Zoya is poignant. Karan is uh, Karan is fantastic. I worked with Srijit actually, Srijit Mukherjee. I had like a good time working with him. I miss the general vibe of the city. It's very strange. I started missing Calcutta once I moved from here because till I was here, there was a feeling of like, okay, I was feeling like the city has this very laid back, strange, like a very low key vibe kind of a thing. But once I moved to Bangalore to study, one thing I missed was this laid back vibe, and there's a energy which the city has, which is very different from like a Bombay or Bangalore and everything. And of course the food of Calcutta, which is like uncomparable anywhere I go, is like that's one thing I constantly miss. Something which happened by chance also, like I wanted to get into films, I wanted to direct, I wanted to do anything related to films. By the time I was finishing college, I was getting into I was watching a lot of cinema from outside India and everything. I was like exposed to like Iranian cinema and everything, and that's where something I realized okay, there's a different kind of cinema that exists somewhere. Because I came from a business family background and everything, the pressure was mounting as to like what do I want to do and everything. I was an AD for a little while, and I realized it's not something that I will enjoy much because I want to be in the creative aspect of filmmaking, and I felt like editing was one place where you were connected with storytelling at the most crucial form kind of a thing. That's where you saw the film getting made, because you are sitting with the director, you are connecting with everything, you seeing what has happened on set and how you are managing to save it and manage it and everything, and that's how you sort of handle it. So that's what like was interesting for me. Editing is actually a very organic process. With any film or anything that you do, there's always there's truckloads of changes that happen. If you have seen Gully Boy, the song which comes right at the end of the film, that used to come somewhere at the end, all together at somewhere else in the film. And like the sequence where Murad, the first time Ranveer is choking at the rap battle round or whatever, the first time he's choking, that used to come in the second half, and we got it right in the first half, in first 30 minutes. So you are constantly changing the structure there, whether it's Razi, Gully Boy, Trapped, or recently Archie's Sam, the film which I've recently worked on called Kho Gaye Humka. It's like the film has like a very young adult vibe to it, because it is very nuanced film in terms of what it wants to say, and there's not much takes and everything. So there is that thing with like people want losing attention. So how to keep that attention going and how to balance out the narrative where it doesn't feel like you're focusing the lack of the story, and yet thriving it in a manner where it's feeling like rightly balanced. Like creative clash is always a good clash, but thankfully I've worked with all the directors who have managed to listen to me, and I managed to make them understand what is my point. Something like a very simple example, like I'll give you Gully Boy. It started with like when it was written, it started with a sequence of like Ranveer waking up, him walking to Dharavi, and then realizing his close friend has died, and then there's a whole funeral scene which was there. And at that night is the first night when Ranveer writes poetry. Now, I always felt like when I was told Zoya, I was like, why is he writing poetry for the friend whom I don't even know? Why should he not write poetry for his father who has got remarried and his mother is alone? We shifted the whole sequence of him writing the poetry right after the night where his father comes with his new wife and he sees his mother sleeping alone and everything. And that's where we sort of like had like a moment where Ranveer writes the poetry. So stuff like this constantly comes. Like it took a long time for Zoya to come to sort of conclusion ki okay, yeah, I see a value in this. Like it all varies from director. When a director writer who's very receptive, like okay, let's change it tomorrow only. And sometimes it feels like it will take a little bit of time to make them understand ki this has to be. Thankfully the directors I work with trust me and there's enough faith in me, so there is like a camaraderie of that sort. They know ki I'm coming from a space where I'm trying to make the film better. So the clashes are not like the dramatic clashes, it's more like a fun clash ki okay, there's this point of view I have, listen to it, let's think about it, what do you feel about it? One sequence in Gully Boy, we had like this whole rap battle round which was there, which where Ranveer finally wins the rap battle and everything. That was shot extensively. That was like there were 2 rounds which were shot. We had like almost like 30, 40, 50 hours of footage. So we had to accumulate it, make it work and bring it down. So I knew somewhere this 25 minutes have to come down to 7 minutes, and how to bring the 7 minutes without leaving Alia also. So how to intercut the sequence with an Alia scene where the Ranveer's friend comes to meet her as a prospective bride or groom or whatever. If you watch the film, is Siddhant's bit is actually taken from the second round and Ranveer's bit is taken from the first round. And in VFX, we actually cleaned up a lot of things and all that, so it doesn't feel like it feels like it's all in one round. Zoya is very meticulous, as is Meghna. Karan is also meticulous, but Karan is like he will give you that freedom. Karan will like okay, you tell me when you want me to come, and it's almost like I present him the cut. With Zoya, it will be like I do my cut and then we sit together and we go through a process. Meghna is very different in terms of the process, where she is very meticulous in terms of like what she wants, and then it is like she already has an edit pattern in mind. And then once we do that edit pattern, then I would suggest I think we should try this also. Karan wouldn't sit with me full like time while I'm editing. He will come and see like, Karan, I want to show you the first half fully. And he gives me full freedom as to just do whatever you feel like. Just cut it, just remove it, whatever you feel like. So there are chunks which I take out, there are chunks which I keep, and whatever decision I want to take, I sort of take it. And then he will react to it, okay, I get it why you did that, or I didn't get it why you did that. Meghna is extremely meticulous. Zoya is poignant. Karan is fantastic, and he's a very sharp like storyteller. Like he's a one person I enjoy showing any film to, because he's such a reactionary. Like he reacts in a very basic manner. He's like a very first audience reaction. Like when first time I showed Razi, like we showed Meghna and me showed Razi to him, he reacts purely on emotion. He'll always say very poignant things or very particular things as to which storytelling wise, and he has such a great understanding of mainstream cinema. That is like a big strength. Recent Bengali films I haven't watched. I think I have watched older Bengali films, of course, like Ghatak, Ray and Mrinal Sen and all these, like the classics, of course, I've grown up watching, and Gautam Ghosh's films and all, but recently I haven't seen anything. I worked with Srijit Mukherjee on this Ray. We did one episode of Ray, that first one with Ali Faisal. I had like a good time working with him. Right now I'm more in tune with like right now South cinema than Bengali cinema at some level. But recently I don't know a lot, like in terms of connection wise, I don't know a lot like who are the new upcoming directors and everything. That constraint is of course there because of the budget constraint which has happened, like which happens exactly the same as in Bombay also. Like I work on something like a Love Hostel or a Masan or something which has been in a very tight budget, and we have like a very solid time constraint. And at the same time I work on something like Rocky Rani or Gully Boy or Sam Manekshaw or something like that, which has the budget, but even there also the constraint is different. Like the pressures are different, like you have to deliver on the numbers, you have to, because the numbers are so high in terms of production budget. Like Rocky Rani started on slow and then it slowly picked up to have that kind of love that was shared with Rocky Rani. When I look at scripts, it's like, okay, what is exciting in the script? I haven't tried this before. And sometimes it's like a lot of like friendship and vibe and everything with the director, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing your next film anyways, kind of a thing. My journey is very interesting in terms of like I started with like a film like Masan, then went on to a Waiting, then I'd suddenly do like a crime thriller like Ittefaq. And from Ittefaq I ended up getting Razi, and by the time I was finishing Razi, I was like, the only film right now I want to do is Gully Boy, and somehow I got the call for it. And from by the time my Gully Boy is like, yeah, now I want to do is like a big pot boiler commercial, this one. Then Karan called me for Rocky Rani. We worked before that on Lust Stories and Ghost Stories and everything, so we had a bond which we already sort of developed. Like I work a lot also as a person who comes and fixes films and who comes and like solves like problems. So I love enjoy doing that kind of a thing. But like Shersha was that example for us. Like we turned it around. Like I sort of came in during pandemic and it turned it around from something else to something else. So which is why you see Karan has given me a credit, like eternally grateful to editor Nitin Baid right in the opening of the film, which is only Karan can do that kind of a thing. Like first film is always closest to heart because it was the you're always fearful of that project. But Masan is one project. Gully Boy is very special. Razi is very special because every film has taught you something in some manner, and you have moved one step ahead or one step back. But Gully Boy was like so much fun. Like it was like we were having a ball while editing. Like we would just sit and like I don't remember having working in that film. It was just we were having faffing most of the time and we just enjoying ourselves. Like we were planning like dinners and this and that. So with Zoya it's like always like we like have fun in that process. Same with Karan is like Rocky Rani also is like so much fun because you have a fun film, you wanna just enjoy and everything. And Masan was a different fear of like if everyone's first film, me, Varun, Neeraj, Avinash, Arun, all of us, like first time we are doing like this film together. We are in Banaras, we are working. Everyone is overcritical of each other. Ki you are not doing your job and you are not doing your job, and everyone wants to do the best kind of a thing. Archie's was actually the way, if you have watched the film, it's actually shot like it's for big screen only. It's not like thought about, like Zoya will never see anything as like OTT or anything. She will direct, like if Archie's you play it on big screen, it's the money and the creation of the world is done as if you're watching in a big screen film. I feel like we are living in a world where everyone has an opinion and everyone wants to share an opinion before even watching something. So that is a way like of the current world sort of works and everything. It's easy to sit and criticize something or it's easy to say something, but it is as difficult to actually go and do something kind of a thing. I feel like they are very competent actors and they are very competent people, and I feel like they have put in heart and soul into the film at every level, and every crew member on the film has put in a heart and soul, and it's fine. Matlab, sometimes you might connect, might not connect, or whatever that is. I love Ranveer Singh, of course, because I worked on 3 films of his. Again, with Vicky also is the same thing. We've done almost 3 films again. Alia is again like the best. Alia, Janvi, like I've recently worked on our first Ananya's film also. She's also amazing. Like Ranveer and Alia are truly special people because it's like for me it's like Alia from Darlings to Gully Boy to this one to Rocky Rani, and Ranveer from like 83 to Gully Boy to Rocky Rani. It's such an amazing thing to see that person changing from one film to another in such a different beast. Like you see the rushes and you feel like, wow, this man is amazing. There are lots of future projects. Right now I'm finishing this film called Mr. and Mrs. Mahi, which is with Janvi Kapoor and Rajkumar Rao, which is directed by Sharan Sharma, who directed Gunjan Saxena. Then there's a film called Shankran Nair, which is with Akshay Kumar and Ananya Pandey and Madhavan. And then there's a film called Sarzameen, which is Ibrahim Ali Khan's first film, and Prithviraj Kumar and Kajol. Then there is another film with Janvi called Ulaj, directed by Sudhanshu Sarya. Then there's Aryan Show, which I'm working on, Aryan Khan's show, next show. Then there is Chandu Champion, which is Kabir Khan with Kartik Aryan. This is the 3rd Janvi film I'm working on. I think I've seen her grow into something really as a hardworking, very interesting actor. Ananya, one film I've done right now, and I'm working on another film. Amazing actor. All the actors in Archie's, like I love them. Aggie Agatsya is a brilliant actor. Same with Vedang. And both of them like brought so much love to the screen in terms of like their presence and everything. I actually love the people I work with, and I have to love with them because that's how I sort of reflect that love in my editing process.